Hi everyone, welcome back to another session of Core Java tutorials. In this video, we are going to see the labeled break statements. So Java supports 3 jump statements: break, continue, and return. So what are these jump statements? These statements transfer control to another part of the program. And break statement has 3 uses. The first use is that you can use it in switch statement. So it terminates a statement sequence in a switch statement. And second use is that it is used to exit a loop. And third use is that it is used as a civilized form of go-to statement. The break statement should be used to cancel a loop only when some sort of special situations occur. And how we are going to use break as a form of go-to, we'll see today. And so break statements can be used as a civilized form of the go-to statements because Java does not have a go-to statement. It is a reserved keyword, but Java does not have a go-to statement because it provides a way to branch in an arbitrary and unstructured manner. Not only that, if we are making go-to written code, which will be very hard to understand and hard to maintain, and also it prohibits certain compiler optimizations. So because of all these reasons, we will not be using the go-to statement. Java will not support go-to statements in its programs. And but go-to is a valuable construct which can be used for flow control. For example, if you're having a deeply nested set of loops, you can use goto to exit from these deeply nested set of loops. So to handle such kind of situations, Java provides an expanded form of the break statement. So this is nothing but the labeled break statement. So the syntax of the labeled break statement is break followed by the label and a semicolon. Label is the name of the label that identifies a block of code. And to name a block, okay, we'll be putting a label at the start of it. We'll be putting a label which is a valid Java identifier followed by a colon. And once you have labeled a block, you can then use this label as the target of the break statement, like break followed by the label name and a semicolon. So doing so, what will happen is causes the execution to resume to the end of the labeled block. So we can use this labeled break statement for a standalone block of code, or else you can also use it for loops. You can also use it for any kind of blocks that can be named. So we'll be giving a name to these particular blocks. So let us try to understand this labeled break statement with an example. So you can see here, so I have written public class main. Main is the name of the class, and then we have public static void main. So first I will show you what is the break statement. So say I'm having a nested loop. So where int I is equal to 1 and I is less than or equal to 5, then I plus plus. So this is my outer loop. Then I'm giving an inner loop. So int j is equal to 1. J is less than or equal to 5 and j plus plus. Okay. So inside this, I'll be just printing the values of I and j for you to understand how the nested loop works. Okay, system.out.println. So let me say I is equal to, so plus I plus, and then I'll put some space over here, then a plus, and then I'll say j is equal to, so plus and j. Okay, so there is a semicolon at the end. So this is a simple nested loop. So this is the outer loop. I is an iterating variable for the outer loop, and j is the iterating variable, loop control variable for the inner loop. Okay, so we have a nested loop here. So let me execute and show you the output. Okay, take a look at the output. So you can see I is equal to 1, J is when I is equal to 1, you can see like J has iterated for 5 times. And then after inner loop breaks, then it is going for the second iteration. And you can see like J executes for 5 times, again for the second time. And then again, when I is equal to 3, you can see like J has executed for 5 times and so on. Okay, so the outer loop will execute 5 times, and the inner loop every time for each and every iteration of the outer loop, inner loop will execute for these many times, like what I have initialized and what is the condition, that many times it will execute. So this is the output. So now let me give a break statement and show you, and then I will give you a labeled break. Okay, so in here, what I'll do is I will say like if J is equal to 3. So as we know, like the inner loop will execute for 5 times from J is equal to 1 to 5. So here what I did is I said if J is equal to 3. Okay, so if J is equal to 3, I am giving a break statement over here. So what will happen is when J will be equal to 3, then the inner loop will break and then it will go for the outer loop to execute. So let me run this and show you what will be the output. So take a look at the output over here. Okay, take a look at the output over here. For I is equal to I is 1, so it entered into the loop. And then as it has entered into the loop, now J is equal to 1, 2, then there is no problem. But when J has become 3, what happens is the inner loop breaks. Okay, I is equal to 1, so J is 1, so it entered into the loop, and now J has become 2, and it has printed this on the screen, and J has incremented and became 3. So when J is 3, what I said, I have given a break. So what happened, only this, the control will go out of this block, this only from this inner block, and the control now has gone to the outer loop. Okay, so and then again I has become 2, and then it entered into the loop again for the second iteration. Now again J is equal to 1 and 2, and then since I said J is equal to 3, break, it breaks from the inner loop and again goes to the outer loop. So this is the functioning of the break statement. Now let me show you the example of the labeled break. Okay, so say for example, I want to come out of the outer loop also. Okay, so say I'm having these 2 loops. Instead of this inner loop, I want to come out of the outer loop. So how can I do that? So to do that, I am labeling this outer fur and the inner fur. So the outer fur, I'm naming it as first. So this is the label I am giving. So first and then a colon. So this is the label I have given for this outer fur. Okay. And for this particular inner fur, I'm giving a statement with second, and I have put a colon here. So this is what is called as labeling. Okay, so I have labeled the outer fur to be first and the inner fur to be second. Now, instead of giving the break second or break, simply is the same execution. But here, after this break statement, I'm giving a space and then I'm saying break first. Okay, so when I say break first, what will happen is when J will be equal to 3, so it will come out of these particular 2 loops and it will come here. So let me write a statement here for you to understand. So I'm saying system.out.println. So we came out of the first loop, right? So out of first. Okay, so I just have written that, and let me execute and show you. This loop will execute only for 1 time. Okay, so I will be equal to 1 and it enters inside the inner loop. Then J will be equal to 1. So it prints. Okay, so 1 and 1, and then J iterates, go to the second value. So j will be 2. So I'll have 1 and 2, and j increments and goes to 3. When j is equal to 3, then I'm saying break first. So what will happen? The outer loop. So the control will go to this particular first. And so whatever is associated closing bracket for this open bracket, so the associated closing bracket is this. So it will come out of this particular loop and will print this, the rest of the statements. Okay, so this is what will happen. So let me execute and show you the output. So you can very clearly see, this is what I told you, right? So it will execute for only one time. As I said, like in the previous case, I said only break. When I said only break, only the inner loop is broken and the control goes to the outer loop. But when I said break first, so this is how I associate a label with the break. Okay, so that's it. So this is how you will be associating a break. You can also have some other nested loop, like 3 or 4 very deeply nested loops, and you can come out of them very easily by using the labeled break statement. I hope this video is helpful to you. Thank you for watching.